Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel today. And in today's video, you're going to see me working on the dog's potty area. I wanted to upgrade it out there and shorten it horizontally mostly for Ginger, because when she goes out there, I can't see her if she gets up against the house. And that kind of defeats the purpose of me letting her out to go potty if I can't see if she's pottying. Because when they come back in, I do give them a treat as a reward for doing their business out there. And if I can't make sure that she's done her business, then basically I'm just rewarding her for going out and coming back in. And I want to make sure that she understands that she gets the treat because she's going out there and doing her potty. So you're going to see me putting a fence up the way I do for these guys. Because they're smaller dogs, I'm able to use a smaller type of material and it keeps them in. So stay tuned and here comes the video.
Come on the screen. I'm just getting the camera set up. And I had recorded in the beginning when I put some of the fence post up. For some reason, the camera didn't pick up that part. So if you'll notice back behind me, you'll see these little posts like I got in my hand right there, which I'm fixing to knock down in there. That is what I make the fence out of, and it's called a rebarb. And you can see I've already put up 1, 2, 3, 4 of them before the camera caught my recording. And I'm showing you here, this is the area that I'm trying to block off because the brick there only comes up halfway. And if the dogs discover that they can get up on top of that brick, they can get out of that pen really easily. And I'm surprised that as smart as they are, they haven't figured out how to get out of there before now. But that one's bent. I can't use it without straightening it out. So I'm looking to see if I can find another one that'll work better. And I'm putting this one up real close to the fence because when I bring the chicken wire across, I'm going to attach it onto this one, and hopefully I'll be able to grab the fence and pull the fence wire up close to that rebarb. So now you're going to see me picking up no, I'm picking up another fence thing. I guess I'm getting ready to put another one in there. Oh no, I actually think that I was trying to straighten this one out a little bit, and it didn't work very good. I'm going to have to put them in some kind of a vice grip and bend on them to get them, or stick them underneath something and pry them up to straighten them out. I've got like 4 of them that somehow or another got bent, and until I get them straight, I'm not going to be able to use them. But I do end up being able to use this one in the back by the steps. I think what I do is I hammer it into the ground, and then after I get it in the ground, I bend on it a little bit, and then I'm able to straighten it out. And you can see the dogs are out here with me. That's them in the beginning part of the thing there. You'll see them in the front of the picture, doing what they always do when they go out, which is sniffing. They're supposed to be using the bathroom. Jade wants me to pick her up and hold her, and I'm telling her, no, Jade, you have to go away. Mama's busy. So I'm picking up all the ones that are bent and moving them to a different part of the yard because I've got the basic structure of the fence up now. I just have to put these over there and get them out of the way and then come back. In a minute, you'll see me coming back to put the fencing up, but I have to stretch it across there. I actually run it from the back part of the steps by the house out to the front rebar, and then I take it across and hook it to the fence. And you're going to see me picking the fencing up right now, I think. Yes, this part was the hardest because I had this attached to the outside of the fence, and I had zip ties on it, and so it got kind of bent, kind of crunched down. So I ended up pulling it out, going through each section one at a time, as you're seeing me here, and pulling them little spots back out so that I'd have something that I could use to attach to the fence. And I would have went ahead and cut all this out of the video, but I'm using a different video app so I could do a voiceover, and I'm not really having much luck using it. It was very difficult for me to even get it set up this part to where it would let me do the voiceover. And I'm not even sure if when I get ready to play this back, if it's going to be there. So I figured I'd just go ahead with the whole entire video. And it is a pretty long video. I do realize that. I apologize for that. I hope y'all don't get bored watching that much of the video. Okay, now you're going to see me in a minute here. I'm fixing to go back there where Jade's at. And I'm going to be attaching that fencing. And I made the mistake in the beginning of going in here and attaching it to the back, you know, close to the house there, and then running it down the steps and taking it across the front. And at one point when I got to the other side, I realized that I was blocking myself in, and I wasn't going to be able to get out after I had the fencing up. So I ended up having to come back out and take that down. Right now I'm just testing it to make sure I've got enough to go all the way across it. And I do, not because I want to make sure if I didn't have enough to go across from there, I was going to take that part at the back of the house and kind of shorten it up a little bit and bring it out forward a little bit more so that it would fit. But yes, there was enough to go across the entire fence. And right now I'm just straightening out the little ends and getting them ready to hook it onto the fence post there. I'm going to hook it to the rebarb first. Then after I hook it to the rebarb is when I attach it to the fence. And then you'll see at the end of the video, I actually was able to get this completely set up the way I had intended without a lot of work. These rebarbs are real easy, and even though you've seen me hammering them into the ground, you can actually hold that with your hand and step on it, and it will go down into the ground really easy, especially if you put it up on a day where you've had rain the day before, which is basically what I have here because we've been getting a lot of rain in our area lately, so the ground was pretty wet at this point. So it went in pretty easy. I just used the hammer to make it go faster. So here you see me attaching it to the rebarb and putting the final one up, and then in a minute you're going to see me reach over here and take the fence and bring the fence over and kind of attach it to the fence to make sure that there's not a gap in there where the dogs could get. Here I am attaching it to the fence, and I'll make sure there ain't a gap there where the dogs could get out. Not that my sweet little angels would ever do anything like that. You know, they always mind me and do 100% what I tell. Y'all know I'm telling a lie now, don't you? Okay, now you see me going across, and I'm attaching each area to the rebarbs. And it's about at this point where I realized that I was actually blocking myself in. And so I ended up going back. After I get this last one attached, I'm like, oops, I'm not going to be able to get out if I don't do something. So I end up going and unhooking the fence part in the back that I had up close to the house. I end up taking that off and lifting it up very carefully and then walking out, what you see me doing here. And then I had to figure out how to stick it back onto the rebarb and then run it back down along the steps and get it back up to the house. But I do manage to do it. I had to stick it in there a little bit, and I had to stretch quite a bit. You'll see me stretching here. There's where I'm stretching. I had to stretch way back there to get it attached. And I do end up getting it back. Apologize for having to look at my backside, y'all. I know that's not the most pleasant view to be watching. But anyhow, it is what it is. This is me in all my glory, and I'm attaching it here. Okay, now I'm looking at it to see, and it looks like it's pretty good. I'm actually going to run that over that part just a little bit more now. I think it looks pretty good. So I'm going to end up going in the house and getting my zip ties because I forgot to do that. And now I'm putting the chair back over here. This is the area where I'm going to be sitting when I'm out here with the dogs, because I sometimes do come out here and sit with them. And right now I think I'm getting ready to go in the house and get the zip ties. Yeah, that's what I'm fixing to do. At this point, you can tell by the way I'm walking, the girls went in with me. I'm pretty much already exhausted and wore out, and I haven't even finished it yet. All I've done is stretch the chicken wire across. But I had to talk to you for a little bit here because it took me a while to find the zip ties in the house. And I thought I had some of the larger, blacker ones, And you'll see in a minute when I come back out, I did have some on hand because I always try to keep them. But the ones that I had, I think I actually bought these at the Dollar Tree. They may have come from Walmart. I'm not sure. But they're real tiny. They're only like 3 or 4 inches. But they do work okay to make this type of a fence for a small dog. Now, if you were making it for see, here come the girls. They're coming back out with me again. If you were going to make it with a larger dog, you would need, there they are. They're too little. And I'm going to show you. These are too tiny. I needed the bigger ones, but I'll have to work with them. That's what I'm telling you there. And they do work. I was able to actually put them on. And then actually, after I got them on there, I actually really liked them a lot better. There's Ginger. She's wanting me to pick her up now. They're kind of an orange and yellow and green and red fluorescent color. And when I attached them to the post with it, they actually were pretty visible. And I like that because it makes it easier for me to see where I'm going to be having to mow the grass. And I bought some plastic sheeting that I'm going to be putting on. I have to hammer this one in. It wasn't all the way down in the ground as far as I wanted it to. So I got to give it a few more whams, wham it down in there, and it goes down in there. Anyway, what I was telling you, I bought some plastic sheeting that I found at Orscheln the other day when I was in there. They had a box of it on clearance, and it was regularly $4 a sheet. They had it marked down to $1. So I got several of those, and I'm going to be using them on the back side of this fence, between the fence and the house, to lay on the grass to keep the grass from growing, because I won't be able to get my mower back there once I do that. And the only way I would be able to get my mower back there is if I take down the end part of that fence, which is up there by the house, and kind of leave it open, because it's attached to the side of the fence. The dogs can't get out of it. So I could probably open it like that. But I usually mow my grass anyway with a weed eater. I could be able to lift my weed eater up and get it over there. I don't know. It's the chicken wire that I use is only, I think, 3 or 4 feet, so it's not very tall. But still, that would be kind of rough on my arms to hold a gasoline-powered weed eater over a fence and weed eat it. So I'll probably end up just putting that plastic sheeting down. And I usually put it down and I cover it with, you can see some of it if you look to the left-hand side of this video, that black spot with a yellow stripe in it, that's called weed barrier. And I got that from the place that I worked at in another town for 20 years. We were allowed to bring home the scrap pieces off the end, and I brought a whole bunch of that home. But I run out of it. I don't have any more. So I ended up buying that. And if I had some more of that, that would work too. But I think I will just probably take that black sheeting and put it in there. And when I do, I might go ahead and put a video up for y'all to see it if you'd like to. You can just let me know down in the comments if that's something you think you want to see. And if not, then I'll just do it and get it done, and I won't do a video. Ginger's over there inspecting. She's like, Mama, you need to put some more zip ties on here and hold that down tight. What I usually end up doing after I put these together like this, I have to go back along the bottom and either pile dirt up against it or put bricks on the wire and pull it down, because it doesn't attach to anything down at the bottom. So there will be like a smart gap. And if the girls wanted to be smart enough and stick their nose under there and shimmy, they could wedge their body underneath that chicken wire and get out that way. Now, they never have done it before on the outside perimeter of the fence, but then I pretty well have that covered with dirt and bricks and stuff to keep them from doing it. But so I may go back. I'll keep an eye on them for the first few days after I put them out and see if they try to wedge themselves underneath there, especially when the neighbors come up on the outside over there, and they like to go over there and bark at the neighbors. And if they think they can get to the neighbors from crawling underneath there, especially Jade, they may try to stick their head underneath there and wedge it. Okay, I don't know what that was I just laid down. Oh, I think it was my zip ties. And right now I had just picked up a pair of scissors and I'm going over to get some, it's called Insulate. And I used it last winter to put on top of my tomato plants that I had up there to keep them from getting frostburn in the early part of the winter. And I'm cutting up strips of white fabric. You'll see here in a minute what I'm going to do with them. I'm bringing them over and I'm weaving them back and forth into the chicken wire to kind of make it more visible to where you can see it. And it kind of makes it look a little prettier, I think, to have it up there. It doesn't look bad like it is, but it just kind of decorates it up a little bit. I may end up putting some decorations on it, go to the Dollar Tree, and get some little hanging frogs and stuff and just hang on that to kind of decorate it up. But for the meantime, I will be cutting these little white strips out here in a minute. It might take me a little while over there. I'm about to think of something to talk to y'all about. I do have some videos coming up. I've come up with several. Here I come. Okay. So now you'll see me weaving it through there. But what I was going to tell you, I've come up with several ideas for making some new videos that I've never done before on my channel. I think will be pretty interesting to you. I have a couple more plans to do some more giveaways, and I will be setting those up. I've got to do some research on one of the videos and write down a few notes and stuff, so that's going to take me a little bit of time to do that. And there you see what I was cutting the strips for. See how I'm weaving it into the chicken netting, and you can actually see the chicken netting a little easier. I just think it makes it a little prettier. And I ended up, I think, cutting like 3 or 4 strips over here to put in through it. Here's another one I got. This one was smaller, so I guess I figured I'd put it on the back side and get this all finished up. As soon as the weather gets really warm where it's not too uncomfortable, I will be coming out and bringing a book or a magazine or something and sitting in that chair out there with the girls and letting them play and do whatever. But usually when I sit down, they're on my lap. And you'll see that here in a minute in the video. Because at one point, I got really weak and dizzy and exhausted. And I thought, I better sit down before I fall down. And so I sat down in the chair. I ended up having to move the chair after I sat in it because, as I told you, the ground was wet from the rain that we've had. And when I sat in it, the legs on the back side started going down into the ground, and the chair was starting to tip over. So I had to actually pick the chair up, move it out a little bit. And then as soon as I got it on solid ground where I could sit in it, and I sat down in it, here come Jade, and she jumped up on top of me. And then, of course, when Jade jumped up there, Ginger seen it, and then Ginger decided she wanted to come over there, and she jumped up on me too. So I didn't stay in the chair very long. I got up. And but anyway, as I said, I have some ideas for some new videos to do. I also have plans to do a few more giveaways. I would like to have, as I can afford it, and do one giveaway a month. And my giveaways won't be nothing really big and fancy as far as expensive stuff because I can't really afford a lot of things. But I will, pick up a few little things as I'm out and about. I sometimes find really nice things at the thrift store. Some of them are secondhand, but they're just like new. I mean, they don't hardly look like they've got any wear on them at all. I might pick up some of those and send them in giveaway. And anything that I get in giveaways, it has to be small enough and kind of flat enough that I can fit it in one of those bubble wrap envelopes in order to send it through the mail. And of course, the mail doesn't like you to send any liquids or anything explosive and stuff through the mail. I know a lot of people do. But they always ask me when I go to the post office, is there anything liquid or fragile or perishable or flammable in here? No matches or fireworks or batteries or anything like that. And most of my stuff is not any of that. I have sent some tubes of hand lotion out in prior giveaways. I think I've included like little small travel size hand lotions in the bags that I've sent out to some people, but generally it's flat stuff that that won't make a problem to ship, like little notebooks and headscarves and magnets and stuff like that. Those things ship pretty easily. But yeah, I am planning on getting some more videos going. And right now I'm getting ready to cut some more. And I think this might be the last strip that I cut. I think it's getting close to it because as I'm looking at my timer here, I've still got 5 minutes left on my video. And I don't think I spent the whole entire last 5 minutes cutting. I might have. But I have found a few new channels that I've joined, and I'm watching their videos, and I'm really enjoying them. One of them's a channel that's been around for like 15 years. They have quite a big line of people on their channel, and they do cooking videos, and they do little skits, little plays, and funny little comedian skits, and I've really been enjoying watching their channel. And then I always love to watch new cooking channels when I find them. I've had a couple of people that have subscribed to my channel that also have YouTube channels. So I've went to their channels and checked them out, and their videos are really interesting. So I have subscribed back to some of those. And I might go ahead and just mention that on here. To those of you who have your favorite channels that you enjoy watching, here I am sitting down. And you'll see in a minute how the chair starts to sink on me. See, it's starting to fall down. I'm like, whoops, I'm going to fall. I better move it out. So I move it out, and of course, here comes Jade to get up on me. Because anytime I'm sitting down, she wants to be on me. And then here comes Ginger. Ginger wants to get up there too. So since I realized both dogs is going to be on me and I couldn't sit there and really rest, I just went ahead and got up, put her down. What I was going to tell you, if you have your favorite YouTube channels that you watch, and this is just mostly I'm giving you this information for people who are watchers and not creators. You don't have your own channels, but you just really enjoy YouTube. If you have favorite channels that you really enjoy watching, and you want to help them out, and this isn't anything that's going to cost you any money. You don't have to send them money or gifts or anything to help them out. If you would, when you go to their channel, if you would always hit a thumbs up button and leave some kind of a comment, that really helps their channel out, because the YouTube algorithm pays attention to any kind of interaction with the channel, and comments, subscriptions, and thumbs up are considered that you're interacting with the video, and they see that and they say, wow, this channel must be really good. It's interesting because people are watching it and they're leaving comments and their thumbs up. It's very important also too, when you go to a channel, if you're looking at a channel for the first time and you think you might want to subscribe to it, before you subscribe to it, watch. I've just recently found this out. Is the reason I'm telling you this. Watch at least 2 or 3. Yay, I got it done. That's what I'm telling you. Thumbs up. Watch at least 2 or 3 of their videos and then hit the subscribe. And the reason you have to do it that way, YouTube had just recently started considering, if you just go on there and click subscribe, they consider that it's a fake subscription. There's a lot of people out there that buy subscribers, and there's a lot of people out there that do sub for sub, which means they subscribe to your channel, but they never come back and watch anything. So if you watch 3 videos before you subscribe, that shows YouTube that you're really a subscriber, you're really interested in the content, and you are going to come back and watch the videos. So those things are very important, and they can help your channel out, help it to grow, and help it to be promoted out in front of other YouTubers. If you would, be sure and leave a comment. Even if you just come on there and say, enjoyed the video, hi Vicki, this was fun, I like this video, do more videos like this. Any little comment at all will help it. So, and a thumbs up definitely helps it. Okay, so this is almost the end of the video. I think I've got like a few more seconds of video, and then it'll be over with. So I'm going to say bye right here, and I'm not going to be able to go over to my tripod and clear it off like I usually do. I usually cut the end of the video off and delete that part out, but I'm not going to be able to do that. I'm just going to be walking over. You're going to see me walk over to my YouTube video thing right now and shut it off. So thanks for coming, and y'all come back. See us any old time. Bye for this one.